I have a question. Do you know the difference between somebody being really drunk, somebody being in a blackout, and somebody being passed out from some heavy drinking that evening? So I am going to just talk a little bit about it. It is kind of has a little bit of science in it. I will just try not to say anything wrong. I don't know how right or how detailed I'll get. I'm Cathy McLeish. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Alcoholism Unpacked. We try to talk a little bit about alcoholism, the before you stop drinking, the after you stop drinking, everything in between, how it affects us and our family, the people that we love, and what maybe, if anything, we can do about it. So just understanding a little bit more about it is very helpful. So a blackout is an alcohol-induced amnesia. So I am fully conscious. That's the difference between a blackout and being passed out. If you're passed out, you're unconscious. So if you're in a blackout, you have gone from, just drinking to maybe drinking a little bit too much, too fast, and you've crossed over into maybe twice the legal limit of blood alcohol content. The BAC that you may have at that time is maybe a 0.15. If you remember, 0.08 is the legal limit for driving that you can be in trouble for in every state in the United States probably. So you have crossed over that. And what happens when alcohol goes into our body? It goes into our body and it goes to our stomach, then our small intestine, then it goes into the bloodstream, and it starts to affect our brain. And at this point, when we're talking about a blackout, the alcohol has increased, the blood alcohol content has increased at a fast pace. And so what it does is it affects a part of the brain in between short-term memory and long-term memory. And the brain can no longer turn short-term memories into long-term memories for the period of time that the person is in the blackout. So what you have happen is a fully conscious person is walking, talking, just acting pretty much like they normally would after they've been drinking, but they will not remember any of it. But they will have a short-term memory, and they could tell you how they got to this party, who they came with, where they went out to eat before they got to the party. They will have the short-term memory, but they will not have any memory that goes from short-term to long-term. So they will not remember what is happening after the time that they went into this blackout. The problem with this is you can do things and not remember. You may make choices that you normally would not make and take risks that you normally would not take. You could get in your car to drive thinking you're okay. You could go with somebody that you had just met back to their house, and you normally wouldn't take that risk. You may have unprotected sex when normally that wouldn't happen either. You could actually get into conversation, have a fight, cause some serious damage to some of your relationships and not remember. Now, that is one of the things that happens in family relationships is the alcoholic, even the alcoholic that is drinking every day, all day long, they have a metabolism that is a little stronger than the person that is only drinking here and there, but they still can't always keep up with the amount of alcohol they're putting into their body in a certain period of time. And if they move into a blackout, you can think that they know what they said, they know what they did, and they can actually talk to you the next day and have no idea about that argument they got into, or no idea about the bruises they have from when they fell down the basement stairs. They have no long-term memory of that period of time that they were in a blackout. So another thing to remember is that when somebody is in a blackout, when they've been heavy drinking or when they're in a blackout, you're not going to move them back to a sober space with anything except time. And the amount of time that it takes to get that amount of alcohol out of somebody's system is hours. So alcohol can still be in your system for up to 12 hours. So if you have a person that you feel has drank too much or they're in a blackout and you throw them in the shower and you give them coffee and you make them eat something, all you have is a full-bellied, wide-awake, clean, drunk person that may be in a blackout. And so you don't let them, just because they seem more awake, you don't let them drive. You don't let them make decisions for themselves, because that's just way too dangerous at that point with the amount of alcohol they may still have in their bloodstream. So I hope that gives you just a little bit more information, a little bit of understanding that a person that's in a blackout can be operating just like they would regularly. They just are not going to remember it. And when I say just like they would normally, it may be with less inhibition. It may be with poorer judgment. It may be with more hostility. So you have to be on your guard that somebody that is acting totally different may actually, in fact, be in a blackout and not just be too drunk. Cathy McLeish, Alcoholism Unpacked. Please subscribe, follow, and learn a little bit more about the disease of alcoholism. If you're a heavy drinker, if you think you might have a problem, if there's somebody in your life that you really care about and they may be struggling with alcohol, just join me and see if we can't just break down that stigma around alcoholism and learn a little bit more so that we can live happier, fuller, healthier lives. Thanks.